How you doing, Team Up? And welcome back to another episode of Hard News with Murdock. Now, I don't think we need any more proof that the times that we're living in are pretty insane and intense on top of that, because I just did a report on what happened in Texas and Ohio last week. But here we are 1 week later with me reporting on the madness that just happened in Philadelphia, and it's pretty unbelievable, but it shouldn't be no surprise to me or anybody watching it, because it's just the times that we're living in. Okay, now warning to all people of color who is blinded by their rage and can't understand the nuance and arguments anymore, because I actually commend the Philadelphia PD for how they was handling this situation, okay? Prepare to be triggered. And double warning to pro-gun activists who may be watching this video who believe that they have the right to walk around with a bazooka on their shoulder because the Second Amendment. Just let y'all know up front, I'm in favor of gun control. So with that being said, hi haters. Welcome to the channel. Let's get into this.
A lot of information unfolding overnight, and residents say it sounded like a war. Hundreds of shots were fired while police officers were crouched behind squad cars for their safety. This morning, that suspect's been identified as 36-year-old Maurice Hill. He was taken into custody more than 6 hours after that violence began. I want to show you now video of that suspect emerging with his hands up from a building that SWAT team members fired gas into shortly before midnight. And then you see the moments when dozens of officers surround him and cuff him before taking him into custody. Late last night, Hill's lawyer said he expects him to face charges, including 6 counts of attempted murder for that standoff that started with gunfire.
I got an officer shot. I got an officer shot radio. All right, so I was shot.
That was a police radio transmission from around 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. Shots fired after narcotics officers attempted to serve that suspect with a warrant. The gunfire forced several officers to escape through windows in that building. While 6 police officers were shot, 2 others were actually trapped inside of the suspect's home for about 5 hours.
One officer sustained a gunshot wound, grazed wound to his head. Thankfully, that was all that was. Got an officer shot in the arms, got officers shot in various parts of their body.
Now, that neighborhood was also panicked because of what you're looking at right now. A daycare center with 80 kids inside. The youngest, about 6 months old, was right next door to that building where the standoff was taking place. You see, they were escorted away from the area unharmed. Now, we also know that authorities communicated with the suspect you see there, even putting his lawyer on the phone hours into this ordeal to try and persuade him to surrender. An update now, we know that all of the Philadelphia police officers who were injured were at last check not only in stable condition but released from the hospital. Maurice Hill, who at one point was barricaded inside of that building with an AK-47, right now is hospitalized for evaluation, Darlene.
Now, I'm going to give Philadelphia PD a compliment for a job well done in this instance, because I believe anybody watching this channel, including myself, once our people was out of harm's way, we probably would have Swiss cheesed that whole house Schwarzenegger style. But they didn't do that. They showed tremendous restraint, and they took in the suspect alive. And that's something rare that you see. And then later on, after everything was said and done, the mayor of Philadelphia had this to say. Check it out for yourself.
This guy is clearly a criminal. He is a criminal, and he had apparently a long record, which I'm not sure if I don't have it in front of me, but has been involved in criminal justice before, and he was able to get these weapons and a large magazine, a large amount of bullets. Whether it's our 6 officers who were shot, or it's some 15, 17, 20-year-old kid on the streets of Philadelphia who gets shot with guns that shouldn't be in people's hands. And it's aggravating, it's saddening. And it's just something that we need to do something about. And if the state and federal government don't want to stand up to the NRA and some other folks, then let us police ourselves.
Now, what I like about what the mayor had to say here was he didn't just talk about the areas where this is not supposed to happen. He included the areas where gun violence is a natural occurrence of everyday life, such as my old neighborhood of 4 Rockaway, Queens, because I can't even tell you how many people I know personally and how many friends I lost due to gun violence in my neighborhood, okay? It's very sad. His words also brought to mind a conversation I was having with a friend of mine, and she texted me after she seen my last episode, and she said, you ever notice how when it's happening in our neighborhoods, they don't never say it was caused by video games or comic books? Made me think about a very famous scene from a movie that I love.
If tomorrow I tell the press that like a gangbanger will get shot, or a truckload of soldiers will be blowing up, nobody panics. Because it's all part of the plan.
And with that, that's all I have. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. Later.